There are moments in life that crack you open so wide, you can't ever go back to the person you were before. Losing my job was one of those moments. If you're listening to this and you've just been laid off, fired or let go, I want to tell you something. That might sound crazy right now, but I ask you to stay with me. Getting fired was the best thing that ever happened to me. Or because it was easy, not because I was ready, or because I had a backup plan, but because that moment, that sharp, terrifying, disorienting fall forced me to find parts of myself I didn't even know existed. Let me take you back to that day. It was a Thursday. I remember exactly what I was wearing. I remember the way the hallway smelled. I remember how my stomach dropped when I saw that calendar invite with no context, just the subject line. Quick sync, and I knew. You know that gut feeling when something's wrong? Yeah, that one. It hit me like a wave. I walked into the Zoom room, saw the HR representative there, and my manager with that forced smile on their face. The kind where they've already rehearsed this a dozen times. I don't remember every word they said, just phrases, unfortunately. Due to restructuring, this isn't about performance. We're grateful for your contribution. And finally, today will be your last day. I sat there, frozen, heart pounding. Mouth dry. I think I nodded. I think I said thank you. What I really wanted to say was, what do you mean I've given everything? I've worked late nights, I skipped vacations. I made your goals my life, and now I'm just gone. But I didn't say that. I closed the laptop. I stared at the wall, and I felt this emptiness. I wish I could tell you that I immediately turned it into something positive, that I bounced back right away, that I smiled and said this is an opportunity. But that would be a lie. The first few days, I didn't sleep, I didn't eat, I didn't tell anyone. I just kept replaying everything I did wrong, or thought I did wrong, over and over. I was ashamed. And that's what no one tells you about losing your job. It's not just about money. It's about identity. Your job becomes your title, your social circle, your daily rhythm, your purpose, and then suddenly it's ripped away. But here's the thing, sometimes you need to lose the version that you thought you had to be in order to become the version of that you were meant to be. That loss, that collapse, it stripped me bare, and from that place, I started to see something different. I started asking questions I never made time for. Do I even want to go back to that kind of job? What did I love about it, and what did I hate? But ignored who am I without the title. And for the first time in years, maybe ever, I didn't have to perform for anyone. I didn't have to pretend I was okay. I didn't have to act like I had it all figured out. That's when the real transformation began. It didn't happen all at once. It came in small moments. The day I opened my laptop, not to job search, but to write a page in my journal. The morning I went for a walk and realized I hadn't breathed deeply in months. The night I cried, really cried, and didn't apologize for it. Those moments cracked something open, and slowly I began rebuilding. But not the old version of me. A new one with boundaries. One with values. One that didn't measure worth by job title or salary, or praise from someone in a corner office. I started learning new things, not because I had to, but because I wanted to. I reconnected with old dreams I had buried under busy. I reached out to people I respected, not to ask for a job but to listen to their stories. I said yes to opportunities I never would have considered before. And you know what? The world didn't end. I wasn't behind. I was finally becoming. Yes, I still had fear. Yes, I still had doubts. But I also had fire. I had choice. I have clarity looking back now. I realize I was never just grieving the loss of a job. I was grieving the version of myself that stayed small to feel secure. That security without fulfillment is a slow kind of death, and sometimes being forced out is the only way to wake up. Losing my job gave me something a paycheck never could. Perspective. It taught me that rebuilding yourself is more powerful than any role you'll ever play. It taught me that failure isn't the end, it's the entrance. It taught me that success doesn't always wear a suit and sit in a meeting room. Sometimes success is peace. Sometimes it's purpose. Sometimes it's finally liking the person you see in the mirror. So do you listening right now, wondering how you'll survive this? I can't promise you it will be easy, but I can promise you this. You are not broken, you are breaking up. And what's on the other side of this might just be the best version of the world has ever seen. People often say when one door closes, Another one opens. But what they don't say is that sometimes you'll be stuck in the hallway for a while, and the hallway can feel long, dark, quiet, uncertain. That's when most people give up. But the hallway is sacred, because that's where you learn to be okay with the silence. That's where you stop searching for permission. That's where you stop asking, what do they want from me? And start asking, what do I want from me? That question changed my life. For so long, I had lived by other people's definitions of success. The promotions, the titles, the LinkedIn applause. I thought if I just hit the next level, then I'll finally feel worthy. But worthiness isn't something you hear, it's something you remember. And sometimes, losing your job is the invitation to remember. I began seeing things with new eyes. I noticed how much I had neglected my health, always telling myself I'll rest after this deadline. I saw how disconnected I become from my friends, always cancelling because work is crazy right now. I realized how many dreams I'd filed away under, maybe one day, and how quickly one day had turned into never. This pause, forced as it was, gave me the space to reimagine everything. I used to see my career as a ladder. Now I see it as a canvas. Ladders are rigid. They only go one way up. They're narrow, competitive, lonely, but a canvas. A canvas is wide, creative, messy, alive. And on a canvas, there's no such thing as going the wrong direction. There's only evolving strokes. EW colors, bolder lines. So I asked myself, what would it look like to build a life that actually fits me, or the one I was told I should want? What if I stopped chasing safety and started choosing meaning? What if I trusted that my next chapter wouldn't look like my last one? And that's exactly the point. Little by little, I started stepping into that new story. I reconnected with writing. I volunteered. I taught myself new skills. I stopped trying to network and started forming real relationships. I stopped trying to get back to who I was before the layoff and started becoming someone new. It didn't happen overnight. Some days I still questioned everything, but something was different now. I was no longer building a life to impress others. I was building a life to express who I truly am. You see, when you lose your job, you don't just lose a paycheck, you lose a version of yourself. But that loss, that grief, it clears space, and space is where reinvention begins. You start dreaming differently. You start living more intentionally. You realize that resilience isn't about bouncing back. It's about bouncing forward into a version of yourself that's deeper, stronger, freer. I used to think my job was my identity. Now I know it was just a chapter. And guess what? I'm the author. Or the company, not the boss. Or the layoff me. And you are the author of your story too. Oh, layoff, no rejection. Oh, closed door can take that from you. So if you're still in the shock, the fear, the fog, I want to leave you with this. You are not starting from scratch. You are starting from experience. You are not unemployed, you are in transition. You are not broken, you are breaking through. And even if no one else sees it yet, even if the world tells you to play it safe, even if the future still feels unclear, you know there's more in you. You know this isn't the end. You know you didn't come this far to only come this far. This moment, this painful, confusing, uncertain moment, might just be the beginning of something extraordinary. Or because everything goes perfectly, but because this time, you're choosing with eyes wide open. You're no longer sleepwalking through your life. You're awake now, you're alive now. And that is the greatest gift a person can receive. So, yes, I lost my job, but I gained something bigger. One, gained myself, and now I wouldn't trade that for anything. If you're going through this right now, I see you, I believe in you. And I hope you'll believe in you too. Because I promise, your comeback will be stronger than your fall.